Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of our binomial distribution practice problems. So in the last video, we computed the probability of observing exactly 2 successes out of a total of 10 possible trials. This was done in the context of throwing dice. So we said that we had thrown a total of 10 dice and that we have defined a success. So I'm just going to have here S for success as throwing a 5. So for any given outcome that I'm going to get by throwing my dice, I'm simply going to classify it in terms of 2 labels. It is either a success, it is either the case that it results in a 5, or it is the case that it is something else. And I'm going to treat all those equally. And because we are told that all those dice are fair 6-sided dice, we know that the probability of a success, so of getting a 5 on any given trial, is 1/6. And therefore, by the complement rule, the probability of getting something other than 5 would be 5 minus 6. So on our last video, we also discussed the binomial distribution formula, which looks a little bit like this. And we said that this formula was useful to let us calculate the probability of observing any number k of successes out of a total of n observations, given that we know that on each of those observations, the probability of making a success is theta. And the way that this is calculated is first by assuming that each of these throws is independent, and therefore we can calculate the joint probability of observing any given chain containing this number of successes here and this number of failures simply by multiplying its marginal probabilities. So we're going to multiply the probability of a success by itself k times, and then we're going to multiply that by 1 minus theta, which denotes the probability of a failure. And we're going to multiply this probability by itself n minus k times. This is an indicator for the number of failures we have. And then we multiply these two together because, again, they are all independent of each other. So now that I have computed my joint probability for any of those chains containing k number of successes, I want to multiply that by the number of possible orders in which I could get that same number of successes out of the total number of trials that I had here. And well, for this second part of the exercise, we are asked to calculate the probability that we will get fewer than 3 5s. So now we are asked to calculate the probability that k, the number of successes, is something less than 3. What does this mean? Well, this same notation is equivalent to saying that this is the probability that k has a value of 0, right? That is less than 3, or that k has a value of 1, that is also less than 3, or that k has a value of 2, that is also less than 3. This is an alternative way of expressing this same event. And noticeably here, we stop to realize that each of these scenarios here, in which I end up having fewer than 3 dice that result in a 5, so fewer than 3 successes, all of them are mutually exclusive of each other. So it is impossible to observe 0 5s at the same time that I observe 1 5, or at the same time that I observe 2 5s. These are all mutually exclusive. So in order for me to compute this probability here, I'm going to have to compute the probability of each of these events by itself and then add them together. And luckily, in our previous exercise, we had already determined that the probability of observing exactly 2 successes out of the 10 dice, assuming that the probability of a success on any given trial is 1/6, is close to 0.291. So let us start computing the other 2. So we start with a scenario where k is equal to 0. So that means that out of the 10 dice that I have thrown, none of them resulted in a 5. So we have 10 failures in a row. It doesn't matter what number I got, they all get counted as failures. The important thing is that they are not successes. And per my binomial formula, I know that I have to compute this joint probability here. And notice here that we have no successes here. So how does that look in my binomial formula that I'm going to write here? There is not a single success. So this is the same as multiplying the probabilities of a success and then have that raised to the power of 0. We know that any number raised to 0, it's going to be just 1. So this is pretty much going to be ignored because we're ultimately going to multiply this value for the second part here of our joint probability. So it's going to just remain the same. This is to indicate that really the joint probability of these events depends solely on the probability of getting not a success. So we have here 5/6 times 10. We still have to do our binomial coefficient, and we can do that. We're going to, in fact, do that to make sure that we are in the right track. But from here, we should already distinguish that, this is really the only possible scenario. If I am taking the results of throwing my die dichotomically, I'm either saying they are successes or failures, there is really just one possible case in which I end up with all failures. Like there is not a difference that can be made by placing these results in a different order. But nevertheless, let us do our binomial coefficient. So we have here n choose k is equivalent to n factorial divided by n minus k factorial times k factorial. We know that this right here is going to be a 10 factorial. And very quickly, we realize that this right here too is going to be a 10 factorial, and that this k here is a 0. So this 0 factorial just turns into a 1. It gets canceled. These two have the same value in the numerator and denominator, so this is only 1. This confirms the fact that there is only one possible order in which I could get 10 failures out of my 10 trials, such that this is going to be my final estimate for the probability of observing exactly 0 successes or exactly 0 number 5s among my 10 dice that I have thrown. And now we move to our next scenario where we have k equals 1. And we are going to do a little bit of the same. Let's think of a very concrete example. So we have here, again, the result of our 10 dice being thrown. And we have that only the first in this particular chain was a success. So only the first happened to be a 5. What is the probability of this chain? We're going to use our product rule because we know that each dice is being thrown independently of each other. So we have here just 1 over 6, so 1 over 6 to the 1 is going to stay the same. And then for the remaining here of the failures that we have here, this is equivalent as multiplying 5 over 6 by itself 9 times, because that is the number of failures that I have. That is also n minus k. K is 1, n is 10, 10 minus 1 is 9. So this is just 5 to the 6 raised to the power of 9. And finally, we can now see how this is a specific chain, but it could have also been the case that this success was not in the first position, but rather on the second position and so forth. And at this point, we should be able to realize that we don't really need to compute this to know that there's going to be 10 possible positions that one success can have. But let us have our little practice. So n choose k is going to have the following formula. We start by substituting or simplifying. So here we have a 10 factorial, which is going to correspond to the product of every integer between 1 and 10. Then in here, I realize here that I have a 1 factorial. 1 factorial is just 1, so it goes away. And in here, I have n minus k, that is 10 minus 1. So I have 9 factorial, the product between 9 and every integer down to 1. So again, we see that these two cancel together, and this is going to result as expected on a number 10. So to know the probability of observing exactly one success out of 10 trials, we simply multiply this probability, which defines the probability of this joint event here, of this whole chain here, times 10. And that's how we would compute our probability. So this would look something like this for simplicity. And now we are able to start putting together the pieces of our puzzle. So remember that ultimately what we wanted to compute was the probability that the number of successes was less than 3. And we said that an alternative way of phrasing this exact same event is the following. So saying that k is less than 3 is the same as saying that k is equal to 0, or k is equal to 1, or k is equal to 2. We are interested in estimating the probability that this happens. And because these individual results are mutually exclusive of each other, we know that the total probability of this event can be obtained by adding these probabilities. So something like this. And in the last couple of minutes, we have spent some time to calculate these probabilities, so we can now substitute them in. And finally, we just add them together for a grand total of 0.775. So this is the probability that if I throw 10 dice, I'm going to find less than 3 5s.